surrender all whatever I do, and my mind, body, and speech to our dear Swami. Thank you. Yeah, I just first I was a little nervous. Okay, what do we have to share? But I think Swami makes it much easier, and I think we are all like in more casual setting, so it helps me in that way. So I will start by sharing my past 10 years experiences, I would say, because I have not seen Swami physical in his physical form, and he has not made it really obvious to me because he has shown his ways in different forms, and he's always guided, and he's always reassured, to me, to our family, to my kids, my in-laws, my parents, and everybody. So he's there all the time, and yeah, not even one part of time that he's ever told me thought about, oh, okay, I didn't see. I mean, first initially I used to see that, okay, I've not seen Swami. Is it different when you have seen Swami and not seen Swami? But I think with all his experiences throughout these years that he's given me, I don't see that any void in my experiences with him. So again, as I said, for me, I was born and brought up in India, and but I did not still know about Swami even. Even when I was in India, it all started after my wedding, and I moved to the United States like in 2007, and we moved to Minnesota, so the the coldest place. And there, even I mean, not right after the wedding too. It was more after like our after the birth of our first son, Skanda, and he was born in 2010. So right after that, at that time, I think people said, "Oh, if you're having a baby, you need to like hear good things and listen to all the good things and stuff like that." So my husband Ram's colleague, one of them, was going to the Sai Center very regularly, and she said, "You know, why don't you join us and come to the bhajans there in Minnesota Sai Center?" So I said, okay. I mean, I know because my in-laws have told me a little bit. So I said, okay, sure. And it was happening in Shirdi Baba temple. So I was convenient, and I said, okay, let me go. And I just went a couple of times with my mother-in-law. And it just that is kind of the stepping stone. And we went there, and right after it was just a couple of times I went before his birth, and then right after his birth we started like going every Sunday, and it's been every Sunday with like to the center kind of thing. And at that time we were in Minnesota, and then we moved to Texas in 2012 because my husband moved for his job, and so we moved there. And one of the biggest thing was because we've been with Sai Center almost a year, and then in 2012 we said, okay, to Houston, so let's find a place, an apartment which is near to the Sai Center. That was the only criteria we had when we moved. We said nothing else. I didn't see school because I mean the kids were small too, so I didn't think about anything. All we said was we want to move next to an Sai Center. And there, Swami guided us. The place where we got was just right opposite to the Sai Center, an apartment where we can walk to the Sai Center. So if you see in the South Houston, the Sai Center, we have an opposite apartments there. So we said, okay, that was the best thing that we could ask. We asked and he gave. So that's what, there he was always there guiding us. And then the other thing was right after that, we really became very active with all our center activities and everything. For me personally, Swami, I think, connected with me through dreams. I think that was the only place like I connected with him, because the first time he came in my dreams, and it was he showed his grace by giving me a pada namaskar in the dream. So that was, I mean, I don't know what it means before too. All I knew was, okay, everybody said, and that's what I knew. So I still I remember that thing, that where he was like, I think everybody there, and I just had to go to him and give a pada namaskar. So there at that time I was like, okay, why? I mean, people always try to relate to what is the thing from the dream, right? What are we learning from that? And for me, I think the thing that he showered his grace, we came to know like a couple of weeks later that I was blessed with our second child. So I was carrying with him, and that's when I said, okay, I knew, and then something is coming. So that was the thing that was coming in our life, and again, we just went, and things were going fine. Like even my older one was starting to SSC classes and other things. So we went on, and so I think the biggest thing that he told me that is like a big thing in your life is happening, and I'm right there for you. So that was the biggest assurance he gave me. Then time passed, like close to, I was also looking for jobs and things around, like in Houston. We were getting used to it and all those things. And right around that time, I had applied for this job, like almost sometime in like I think right when I was just pregnant, and I went to the interview also while I was pregnant. But I said, okay, I forgot, and then all those things happened. And then right like in December again, I got like Swami's dream. That was my second dream, Swami's dream. And this time he really blessed me with vibhutis. And so again, our monkey mind thought like, okay, he gave a dream, what now next, and stuff like that. So there again, he said, you know what, I applied for this job 9 months before, and they didn't like recruit me. At that time, again, I was pregnant and all those things. And then happened so that right after 9 months, I was called for that same job and just had to meet like one person, and I got the job. So I'm currently still in that company, and in a different role, but yeah, I've been in with that company. But again, that is like, it just assures me like, okay, there is Swami, and something for me, that was his way of communicating to me. And I always felt that, okay, whatever is happening, I think it is all his goodwill. And I think right after I joined the work, I was going to join, and that biggest dilemma was, okay, I have now 2 small kids. What do I do for that, right? My in-laws were there with me, but I didn't want to burden them also. And then I said, okay, I don't want to put them in the daycare. So what do I do? So then everybody came up with this idea of like, everybody recommended like, oh, you need to have a nanny. So they'll be at home because your in-laws at home. So all those things. So then we decided we are going to go find a nanny. So I like, not applying, and like word of mouth to everybody, whoever I know. Hey, can you do, if you know a nanny, let me know through our Sai Center, all aunties and everybody's. And I'm asking them, and everybody's like, yeah, we'll come to know and we'll let you know, kind of thing. And then you won't believe, like one of my friend who's in Sugarland in Houston, she said that, you know what, Anu, I'm moving to Dallas, and my nanny who has been taking care of my 2 kids of course she's not moving with me, so she will be available for you if you want. So I'm like, okay. And she was like giving her like 100% reference for her, very good nanny and everything. She'll be fine. So that was like, okay, somebody's coming and giving me a silver plate. Okay, here you go. So of course that was Swami giving me, there she was like, she came right like when my younger one was like 9 months old, and she stayed with us like for 6 years. And even like her, like even the nanny, that is also like Swami's blessing. It's like she comes from a very spiritual Christian family, and she like reads Bible every day, that kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, I never expected that. And she was very and loving to my kids. And even like now today also, we like sometimes we talk about her, they'll be like, yeah, I remember her, she took us here. She was there with the boys like for almost 6 years. And that was that thing with Swami. It's like, I thought, oh my God, I'm starting, he gave me this vibhuti, this dream, but now this another obstacle, or kind of that rethink, right? That Swami is coming, what do we do? And then he still like clearly clears the path. And he just says, okay, I'm there, and you're new to the city and everything, but it just comes to us by him, and just with sheer confidence and like surrendering to him. I think that's where Swami helps us and guides us. And for me, I think throughout this years, every time like Swami is like continually like blessed and guided us in a lot of ways. But I think over the year, like this past year, I think with a lot of benefit, I know with COVID and everybody staying at home, right? So for me, again, this was a small spark that I had, was like, okay, I want to learn Vedam. I like try to go to like Shivratri, like try to stay up night, but I'm like, I know people read and I'm like trying to follow, but that spark, that small desire, shall we say, I mean, not ceiling on desire, but little small desire, that, okay, I want to learn Vedam. I mean, I know this, I mean, I don't have any background about it at all. So I said, okay, I need to learn this. And now this is a good time to like, we can learn and stuff like that, right? So I it was just a spark for me. But then comes like in Guru Purnima time, the YAs, they started like this international online Veda program. So I'm like, okay, so there you go. I mean, I don't know, I felt like I was the first one to sign up for that. I said, that is like, again, somebody just knocking on your door and said, here you go, take this. And I right away just signed up for that. And then it was, I mean, it's been a great learning experience for me. I mean, I'm not saying I'm great in Vedam now, but at least a small step, that what you think a little bit, you took like one step of just thinking about it. And then Swami comes here giving you like, there you go, take it and go and ride along with it. So that's something that you have that desire to learn and improvise or get better at you in your spiritual journey, and there he comes there and guides us. So I mean, those are like, even everything like day-to-day things, that he's always there, and you also always constantly feel his love, like even in difficult times. Like there are like, I mean, of course, bringing up these two boys, it has always been challenge, but every time I'll be talking something and then somebody will say, oh, don't worry, my kid was like this before, and they were like this, so it'll all get better in time, and all those things. I know a couple of them will say like, and the other thing is, I strongly believe is like Swami really knows when and what to give and to whom to give at the right time. So I know we had conversation with one of our brothers in our Sai Center, that they'll say, okay, Swami has known, because he knows that you can handle the naughtiness of the two boys or whatever, like as a parent, you can do that. And that's why he's given you that. And then he knows that you will be a good parent and you will be able to nurture them. So that is something I've learned or experienced it with Swami's love. And one thing is the other incident, I mean, a story which I really is very dear to my heart, like when I studied and when I was in high school, is a story where it says everything happens for your good, right? This king was there with the minister, and he cuts his finger. So I know my kids learn even now in SSC that same story. So that story is always very dear to my heart. It's like, okay, it happens, even if it's bad thing, but it is happening for a good thing, and at the end of the day it happens for a good, right? So that is that's what I feel. I think for me, my journey with Swami will be ever continuing, and I'm ever grateful and so blessed that he's bestowed that all these things without me asking and expecting anything too. And I just look forward for continuing and deepening this relationship with Swami, and through my experiences in my life. And I really want to thank Swami for choosing me as his instrument today, so that I can share my past 10 years, and probably in the past 10 minutes. So hopefully, and again, thank you to the YA group like Sriram and Lakshmi and everybody. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, sister. Yeah, no, that was very nice. I mean, sorry, was there someone who was wanting to say something? Okay. No, that was really nice. I mean, it's generally, when I think about, when I think of a couple, right, it's generally the women who are in the Sai fold manage to pull the husband into the fold. And in your case, it seems like it's the other way around. So how did Brother Ram's say, I'm just curious to know, how did Brother Ram say devotion to Bhagavan inspire you? Because like you said, initially, you were not into the Sai fold, or you weren't even aware of who, Sri Satya Sai Baba was. So how did you develop this bond that, of course, the dreams were the means through which that bond strengthened and deepened, but how did you actually develop a certain connection for someone who's totally out of it?
Yeah, I mean, see, for me, I think it came directly, like I think from his teachings. It's simple, like all you have is love all, serve all. What else you can? I mean, as simple as like an ABC, what we can learn, right? That simple thing, and when you connect the dots, right? I mean, that becomes like a whole big, like a beautiful story with him. It's, I mean, when we see like things when he's not I mean, what you have not done or what you have not thought about that kind of an angle before, or like look at different things, oh, seva kind of thing. I mean, I know we've done this kind of thing, but going out of the way to help people, or just that loving thing, or just simple love, that is more than enough, I think. Just that thing that he's pulled us, me and our family into it. So I think that is the biggest thing.
Beautiful, yeah. I agree. I mean, it's always, Swami has this very simple way of rendering very profound messages, and sometimes that is, I think, the most captivating aspect that pulls people in, the average Joe, almost into Swami's fold, I think. And you know, that was
Right.
the beauty of the previous session as well. That how the YAs, despite a lot of them not having seen him physically, like you said, have
Mm-hmm.
inspired and taken in and bought into his message, and that truly inspires them. And then thereafter comes, further experiences like what you mentioned. So
Right. Yeah, and I think that's the other thing. Like, I know again with this COVID thing, we started like I mean, listening to so many satsangs and stuff like that. Like, so you see people have like that so much of love for Swami, and then their experiences, and how that has impacted their life. And I'm like, oh my God, that can like change. I mean, it's all like inspiration. I mean, for me, I think, as I've said, with not seeing Swami and all those things, it's like he has that much of an impact, and you can see that how people work towards it and try to make a difference, right, at the end of the day. So I think that's where.
sure, yeah. So does anyone have any questions for Sister Anu? Any thoughts or any questions? Feel free.
Yeah, I think Anu, the talk. I never heard you talk. You were bubbling with energy, and it was very inspiring and thought provoking. And I'm very, very happy that you listened to Ram and followed the footsteps of Sai Ram. And the other thing that I felt was most of us dream, we share, but we do not take it seriously to the next level. And I'm reminded of Abdul Kalam, who said, dream is not that which you see while sleeping, but is something that does not let you sleep. And I think that's what I felt you did it. And I have seen both your boys, and you are all, both Ram and you, are all a personification of patience, I would say. Because with two boys there, I don't want to narrate what happened with Ram Nandan's watch in your house. So those things are, I would say, patience is not the ability to wait,
Yes.
but having the right attitude while waiting. And I think there are a lot of lessons that I learned looking at both you and Ram. And one other thing that you gave me an inspiration in this talk, I have to start learning Vedam. I'm older than you, but I think I have a long way to go. And I think your faith in Swami is something that I admire. I always believe that with faith in Swami, nothing is impossible. Without his faith, nothing is possible. So it was a very, very thought-provoking. You touched my heart with certain aspects of where I could apply in my daily life. Thank you.
Thank you. Na.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sister Anu. I think unless someone has something else to say, I think we can move on to the next person. Will be Brother Akshit. Does anyone have any final thoughts for Sister Anu? Okay, I see stuff in the chat, but I think then we can move on. Thank you so much once again, Sister Anu, for sharing with us, and for being for gladly sharing it with us, because I've heard from Ravi uncle that you haven't spoken before, on some sort of forum of stuff of that sort. So I hope this sort of very laid back, casual, YA kind of forum is the first of many talks from you from here on.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you, Sriram.
Yeah, Sairam. And I think we'll move on to Brother Akshit. Akshit?
Sairam.
Are you able to share your screen, Akshit, in case you want to share your screen, or do you want me to make you a co-host? Okay, perfect.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Sairam. Offering my humble pranams at the lotus feet of Baba. Sairam, brothers and sisters. Sairam, my dear elders. I just wanted to firstly thank Swami, because through Sri Ram, he has given this good opportunity for me to talk and uh, just talk about my experiences with Bhagavan. And I, uh, I mean, to just start, right? I mean, these experiences, like with all brothers and sisters who are sharing, right? This actually strengthens my faith that, Swami is actually, within me, and he's surrounded by me, and he's always there, right? And today, with this opportunity, it brings back all those memories that I had with Swami when I was studying at Swami school. With that, without much further delay, I just wanted to share some experiences on how my journey started with Sai. So I was born in Hyderabad, a city in southern India, and my mother's family was totally devoted to Baba, but my father's family didn't know Swami when they got married. So it started with, my mother was an ardent devotee, and she always wanted me to go to Swami school from grade 1, but my dad opposed, and he did not send me to Swami school. Like, he did not even let me apply to Swami school in grade 1. Then slowly, the distance started to, fell, and I didn't know what Swami is and what, like, the faith, like, that didn't develop till my grade 10. So this is all Swami's maya, I would say, like why he had to not give me a chance in grade 1, and then he accidentally, how he pulls me into his fold, right? So I think everything what Swami does has some meaning in it. So then what happened in grade 10, now my dad was okay to send me to Swami school, but being grown up in Hyderabad, and back then, like, doing like IIT and all that was like, something which every kid wants to do. I mean, back then, right? So, and Swami school back then was more into CBSE, like it's a syllabus, and I did not want to go to Swami school because I was more interested in engineering, and I felt like I wouldn't get much chance if I go to Swami school to do engineering. But so what happened with my mom's force back then, I wrote the entrance test, I got selected, and I went, like, I got admitted to Swami school. When I joined Swami school, I did not have any interest. I want to share all these thoughts before I start saying positive things, because that's how I was, right? So I was thinking, hey, what is this all whites wearing, like, going to darshan, and like, because I didn't know much about Swami back then. Then I started going to Swami school, and had darshan. But one thing, even when I didn't have that much devotion towards Swami, but I could feel something when I was sitting in Kulanth Hall and having his darshan, like somewhere inside my heart, I started feeling that he's someone really close to me. And like, I felt like, as if, like, there is some divine connection between us. And then I Swami started, showing his miracles to me. And one big miracle that happened in my life is when I was, doing my sports meet at Swami school. I fell from a ladder, and it's not like I fell from top of the ladder. It was just 2 or 3 feet. I fell from that ladder, and I have, like, fractured. At first look, it felt like I fractured my knee. or like I fractured something in my leg. So my leg was folded. It was not getting straight. So it felt, I was like in an excruciating pain. I was not able to like, make my leg straight, and I was like shouting with pain. And immediately the teachers at the school took me to like general hospital first. They did some x-rays, but they didn't know what to do, because there was no orthopedic on-call doctor at the same time. So I was immediately rushed to the super specialty hospital. Now, before falling from that ladder, the story of this miracle that I'm going to share is actually how Swami reduces the karma by when we are close to him, when we are devoted to him. So in grade 10, before I joined Swami school, I once fell from while playing soccer. And back then I had 3 or 4 like days of pain where I couldn't walk. Then the pain subsided, and I was back to normal. Now, when I was doing my sports meet again, but even after the pain subsided back in grade 10, what I was feeling is like, there is something wrong with my leg. And, I didn't have the confidence that I could put full weight on my leg. But at the same time, I didn't have any pain in my leg. So I just ignored that problem. Now, when I went to like Swami school and did that sports meet, it was like very short fall. Like, I mean, it's not like you would have fell from like a bed or something. It's like just 2 steps on the ladder. I would say it's like just 2 feet fall. And with the 2 feet fall, I was like shocked. Why is my leg so broken, and why is it not becoming straight? It was like bended, like, it was not becoming straight. So to continue on, then I was rushed to super specialty hospital, and then they did some initial look, and they have put like the a band-aid, and they made it somehow straight with like hot cast, like ceramic cast, with which usually when your leg gets or hand gets fractured, you wear that white thing, right? So they have done that. So then I was in hostel. I couldn't participate in that sports meet that year, and I was in hostel, and for 15 days I was into that plaster, like cast, and I couldn't walk normally. I couldn't do my daily course normally. I was like dependent on my brothers in the school, and I was like limping with my 2 crutches. Then after 15 days they removed the cast, and and they started to see now what's they asked me to now walk. There is nothing wrong with the x-rays came back normal. There is no broken leg, and we just put this cast before, so that you feel some your pain reduces, and your leg gets back to normal. So the doctor asked me to start walking, but I couldn't. I was like, literally I couldn't put any weight on my leg. So looking at that, they have suggested me to go to Whitefield Hospital and get a CT scan done, MRI scan done, which I did. And then the surgeon saw that there is a tear, like medial meniscus tear in the knee, which needs to be repaired, and it should be a minor surgery. And so this was a shock to me. Like I was like till then I was never near a needle. Like I usually feel very less sick. So with Swami's grace that should continue, but till then I never went to like hospitals for like some big problems. And then like a 16-year boy, and they were saying you need to go through a surgery to repair your some muscle in your knee. So that was a shock to me. But at the same time, the pain was so much, and it's like I was handicapped. I was not able to walk, and it was really difficult with like living with the crutches, right? Then again the doctor said the MRI scan that you had is not that clear. We will most likely it will be a small meniscus tear, but there may be a chance that there will be an ACL tear, like anterior cruciate ligament tear. But anyway, what they said is they want to do a arthroscopy, which is like basically sending in a camera and see what's wrong, and then repair it through like like laparoscopically, or like, with the three devices that holds, they put in my knee and they want to do that. And then they did that. So with like, by then, like I was totally depressed, and I was like praying Swami, because slowly after I joined school, I started, like I said, I started feeling that connection towards Swami. I felt like, he's something, who listens to me, as and when I talk within my heart. And like, so I started praying Swami. I was like, but back at that time, I was like, literally shattered, and I was like, Swami, please, what is this? I mean, please save me, and make me good as soon as possible. I don't want to go through any of this. But one of my teacher told me that, never get disheartened when there are times of difficulty like this, because what Swami is trying to do is basically is trying to, even Swami, like that's what my teacher said, even Swami cannot reduce your karma to zero. He will only make sure when you're devoted, like that karma, whatever you have to face for all the things that you have done in your past life, or whenever you did. Swami will make sure that karma that you go through will be easy and smooth. But still, I felt like, what more karma, like, for me, like 16-year boy, like, to actually go through some surgery. And I mean, I didn't do anything wrong. I did not even like, think negative about anyone. Why is this happening to me? But that only, like, as I grew now, when I think back and see, that is actually true. Like, why Swami makes that karma less, right? I feel that now, because what happened then in my story is like, then they put in these cameras, they looked at my knee, on top of like medial meniscus tear, they also saw that the ACL was completely torn, right? So basically, the near the knee, the bones were just like loosely hanging with some flesh surrounded by that. So then the doctor said, in the super specialty hospital, that I need to go through a 5-hour surgery to actually replace that ligament. So basically, they want to take a muscle from some other part of the body and replace that. And the whole explanation that the doctor gave, like, frightened me. And like, I was like, what's going on in my life, right? Like, they want to do something and 5-hour surgery. And back then it was like, really, I was scared. But I didn't know. I was not able to think anything. I was not able to walk, to even go to darshan and see anything. And many of my family members suggested that I should take 1-year break and not continue my grade 12 until I feel okay. And because I was literally depending on someone to, even take me from place A to place B, right? Then even to do that surgery, the next surgery, I was not prepared. Looks like my body was not prepared, because I need to grow some muscles to actually replace that part. So basically, I was not ready for that second surgery, and I had to go through some time before I could go through the next surgery. Now, I may be a little fade with my details on this, what happened, but the point here is like, I had to go through another surgery to actually walk. Otherwise, the doctor said I can never walk, and like, I'll keep limping. So, but I was determined that I'll go to Swami's school. Like, I mean, I'll continue my grade 12, no matter what. I'll manage with my crutches. And I was like limping around when all the brothers in my school were like actually playing and having fun. Like, I felt really like, I was like made handicapped middle of my, or not even middle, like even before my full life started, right? I mean, I was still at school, like, grade 11, and I was feeling the burden of universe on my head, right? Like, why can't I walk? And I just need to limp whole, like, it was like very badly. Like, even to go to darshan, I could never get like first line, because all the other brothers, they used to walk fast and take off all the first lines, and I never used to get my first line, even to have Swami's Pad Namaskaram, right? So I faced some difficult times during that time. Now, saying all that, then what happened? I was still not ready for surgery, according to doctors, for like 5 more months passed, and I was still not ready. during this time I was still limping, but one good thing that happened was back in 2008, 9, 10, Swami gave opportunities to school and university boys to actually give a rose or aarti during the aarti time and give a letter. Like it's like sure shot, every day Swami used to take one rose from one brother and take aarti from other brother, right? So it's like it was coming in order, like roll number wise it was coming in order. So at that point I got this chance to actually give a rose to Swami, and let me share a photo. uh, One second. So can you see my screen with the photo with?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Yes.
So that was my chance to actually give a letter to Swami and explain my pain, or like, he knows everything, but humanly I had to say that I am going through a lot, right? You could see actually my face. I'm like, literally, you can see my expression. I'm like crying, right? When I look now, I feel like that day I was crying. I was actually to walk till Swami from behind, like I was limping even to go and bend near Swami. So Swami was sitting in his chair. I had to like kneel down and like, talk to him. But even to kneel, it was like really painful. I was literally shivering in my legs. And Swami, right? He is testing me even there. So he was not accepting my letter. In a bit, I'll show you a video of the whole incident. He was not taking my letter. He just took the rose and gave it back. And he's not like even trying to listen to me. And I was like, Swami, please listen to me. I'm like, I'm going through some lot of pain. And he did not. Then I did not give up. I just need, even with so much pain, I just stood there because I know Swami will only, go with love. Like, he will never like, God will only delay, right? I mean, he doesn't deny. So I was like just trying to hold on to my letter and stand near him. And finally, I was able to give him my letter, and I was able to tell Swami, he knows everything, but I just told him again, right? And then he took few seconds, like he paused for a few seconds. Basically, I asked Swami that, Swami, I'm going through this pain, and doctors in our hospital said that I need to go through a surgery. Please help me, like, please tell me what to do. He paused for a few seconds, and then he said, in Telugu, he said, "Avsaram ledu." I mean, you don't need operation, right? I mean, again, because there was Aarti going on, and I wanted to double confirm, I asked him again, Swami, Avsaram leda, meaning, don't I need the operation? And he said, no. Like he said, Avsaram ledu. And brothers and sisters, you know what? From the kneeling down position, right? I mean, I walked back without any pain, and the next morning, uh, uh, I'm back to normal, right? I mean, I'm like, I forgot what the pain was. I even forgot how I used to limp, and I'm back to normal. And even before I woke up that morning, Swami came to my mom's dream, and he told my mom that, see, I'm basically, my mom got a dream of Swami entering the operation theater, and he was putting actually the ligaments in my leg. He said, my mom, ఒకటి కాదు రెండు కాదు మూడు, like not one, not two, I'm putting 3 ligaments in your son's leg. And the next day morning, boom, I was walking normally. Now I can jog, I can run, I can do everything. So this way, like, maybe I had to go through a lot. Maybe I would have lived handicapped life. I mean, now it's common, like ACL tear and all that, people can go through surgery. But back then, I didn't know what all this is, but I was literally like unable to walk, put weight on my left leg. And just with his word, right? I mean, I want to emphasize this because he just said, you don't need an operation, and the next morning I was normal, right? So this brings back me beautiful memories that I had, like with Swami. his school, and like I feel blessed today that I feel blessed actually that I broke my leg and I had this chance to go through this whole incident, right? And I'm like, standing here today and sharing this incident itself gives me some happiness, right? Like, I have gone through a lot of pain, but at the end I feel like, Swami has reduced that karma, and uh, he has cured me completely, right? So that's one story. And the other story that I wanted to say was like, now after then it's all good, right? Like now I graduated out of Swami school, and I was happy, I was walking, I'm back to my normal, like all my brothers in the school, right? They could run, I could run, but I still took it little easy, but I feel back to normal, right? So during this phase, if I think back, and if I think what happened here, right? Basically, sure, I got very good education joining Swami school, right? But what I feel is basically by going through Swami school, I had to face some karma, which I actually, faced a little, but, with Swami's grace, I was like, I feel like, I'm purified, or like whatever we call, like in my heart, I feel like, okay, I went through that karma and it's in the past, right? But still with Swami's grace, everything was good. Now, the other story that I wanted to share was now that I graduated out of Swami school, and I started my engineering, and I finally came to US to do masters. And what happened during masters was like all my friends were getting part-time jobs. Like most of you all know that we come to US, do masters, like do part-time jobs to actually maintain our daily expenses and whatnot, right? So again, I was not from an affluent family. I was like not so rich, and like for my dad to actually bear the first semester fees itself was a burden. So then still what's happening was the first semester all my friends started getting part-times, like roommates who used to like just apply, they used to get part-time jobs, and I used to try night and day, and I never used to even get a call for interview at the campus locations. And then I was like literally disheartened. Now during that time, what happened was a few days before this incident that I'm going to tell, I was thinking within myself, oh Swami, now you are not physically there. I couldn't even write you a letter or express something to you. Hey Rudayavasa, can you hear me? And can you just like, this is not a big deal when I think right now with having a job now, but back then I felt like, I was facing some financial troubles, right? Then I felt like, Swami, can you do something, right? Because that was this incident that I'm going to share actually proves that, Swami, even though he's not within us in physical form, he's always there, right? So that prayer I did few days back, and and then after a few days, then there was this call where the dean of the department called every master student or whoever is interested to actually come. And basically this was for teaching assistantship positions, right? So we all gathered, and then the dean came, and it was like 100 people just gathered to listen what's happening, right? And like to see what positions we could get. And the dean has stepped into the room. He came and he just said this line, and he said, sorry students, we don't have any opportunities for this semester. All the opportunities for teaching assistants have been taken by the PhD students, so I'm really sorry, we don't have any. So only to do that there was a meeting, right? I mean, I didn't know what's going on, and everyone was shocked. But during that time, some like Swami within my heart was saying, go talk to dean. This dean was like he was like retired, I guess, or emeritus, right? Like he was just handling the department, but Swami within me was telling me, go and talk to him. Then because I don't know, I was not thinking. I just went straight to him and said, I have so and so coursework. I am interested in this. Can I be considered for this teaching position? He immediately asked me, okay, did you already do this coursework? I said, yeah, I'm doing it right now. He said, okay, hold on, walk with me. I want to talk to you, right? And maybe I'll consider you. He directly said that, right? He directly said that. And then after me, right, it was like, first come, first serve, I felt, right? Like, then started like all the students coming towards him. I was the first guy to actually go and talk. I didn't know from where I got that courage to actually go and directly confront him, like, hey, I want to do this. It was more like I was demanding and he was giving, right? Like I did that. And then students started coming in and they started saying, Professor, we have this in the same course that I said, we have work experience with this course and we want to actually take up this position. He just straightly denied, no, I'm not gonna give, I'm not. And as I was walking with that professor, I was looking at all the students and saying, hey, these guys are saying they have work experience. I don't even have work experience. I'm doing that like master's course, like graduate course now to teach students in the undergrad with like, with a less course hectic, right? Like I would be doing advanced course and they'd be doing one course less. So students here are people here are saying they have experience in like industry experience, and I am just doing a coursework and I am saying confidently I will teach like undergrad students. So I was like taken aback and I was like thinking, hey, am I really the correct person to actually take up this position, right? Then I was hesitant. Then this professor entered the room where all the PhD students were now waiting. And now I did not enter that room because after listening to other students who said we have so much experience, and when the professor bluntly ignored all their requests, I was thinking, I was doubting within myself, hey, maybe I'm doing something wrong. I should not even enter this PhD's room to become a fool of myself, right? Like, when I don't know. And to my surprise, right, I just stay outside the room and this professor comes out of the room again and he shouts like, or he just says, I told someone to follow me, right? Who is that boy? And I say, Professor, that's me. And then he says, okay, come on in. And I don't know what he saw in me, right? Like it's all like with one Swami's Vakya that you said, go and talk to him. Then he took me inside that room and then he started assigning roles to all the PhD students. And then I was still not confident then, right? And I was still sitting quietly and he assigned the course that he promised me that he'll give me to someone else, like some PhD student. Then I was like, okay, I'm not getting this job. So I just sat quietly. And then again, I mean, see these details, right? Like he has assigned like 20-25 courseworks to like 50 students. And then he comes back through the whole list because my name was not even in any list, right? I was not pre-selected or anything. I just asked him and I walked with him to the room. And I was sitting quiet at the back of the room, like I was standing quiet at the back of the room. And then suddenly again, he remembers that, I promised someone to give this course. He goes through the course list again and he comes back to that course and says, who was that boy that I asked him to come, right? Then again, because this shows when he asked this question, right, who was this boy? He keeps on saying this, right? Who was this boy who I said I promised something, right? This actually shows him that he would have never even registered my face in his brain, right? Like he keeps asking me because I'm standing right there and he doesn't even know who I am. Then again, I raise my hand and boom, I get the job, right? I mean, then my it's not only like my daily expenses or the monthly expenses that get covered. Now I have a assistantship with waiver in my fees. I don't even pay. I didn't even pay my rest of the master's course, right? This actually shows like how like this actually strengthened me, right? Not only like when I had physical proximity with Swami, he was always listening. He was always taking care of me. Even when he was physically away with me and I'm miles apart from Prashanti Nilayam, he still made sure that he listens within my heart, right? So these experiences just bring back joy in me to actually share. It's not like I'm boasting or saying, hey, I have this good experiences with Swami and all, but it just brings back some joy saying that, yeah, Swami, I'm really grateful to you and I'm like, yeah, I don't even have words to say, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
beautiful, dude. I mean, that's why, almost in Ravi Uncle's manner, SAI, Sai is always inside, C always inside, and Sai will respond. And that's technically what's happened to you at every given moment. You began, you didn't have much faith, but somehow you started feeling that connection and started talking to him, that internal talk, and then that connection develops. And then, how Swami makes his presence felt. And even after he's left his physical form, you can see through these YA's experiences that when you form a connect with Swami and that Swami was within, see always within, see always in, I think Sai always manifests, and that's so beautiful. I know you in fact have more experiences to share, but what I also enjoy is one of your experiences, how you, like you said, you were more interested along the IIT lines, and how you suddenly went to Swami school again. That was
Yeah.
also being privy to how that happened. That was itself a very interesting incident for me. I know you haven't had the time to share today, but it's just amazing. Anyone else who has any thoughts before we move on to the final speaker?
So Shriram, do you want me to just share that video, or
Yeah,
we
sure.
are time?
How long is it?
It's a 5-minute video, but I can, it's not a big deal. I mean, we can.
Okay. I guess with just 5 minutes left,
Okay,
I don't think we could
sure.
we'll do Kavya. No. With 5 minutes left, I don't think we'll do Kavya justice, and I want to give her her due. So, Sister Kavya, if you don't mind, shall we go ahead with the video and then we circle back?
Yeah, that should be fine.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I started sharing. Can you see the screen, Shriram?
Yeah, I can see it. We can hear it.
So this is me, and this was my first ever interaction with Swami. Like, this was my first ever, time when I actually had a chance to give a letter to Swami and actually say something to Swami. And here, one interesting thing is, even though my mother tongue was Telugu, but I was mainly into North Indian schools in Hyderabad, and I used to speak Urdu fluently. Swami first talked to me in Urdu, like that gave me like a surprise, right? Like, because I understand Telugu and Swami speaks Telugu, and like I didn't know why he suddenly spoke to me in Urdu, and that's what happened here. He reads my letter and then he calls me. Yeah, this is the day when the experience that I shared. It's this one. You would see like how Swami made me wait. So this is like after that incident, like when I was normal, and like now I'm like started to walk properly. And here I got a chance basically to show my computer science project, where all computer science boys do develop some games using C++. So by now I'm normal, right? I mean, I'm after that incident, I can like, kneel and do everything. So this part is again interesting, where like, I don't know how Swami, like, he puts Akshata, and the boy whom you saw before coming to me, right? He also didn't have any Akshata plate or something that we usually carry for birthdays, right? So Swami takes some Akshata, like, yellow rice, and he puts on my head. So next coming up was gratitude program, where like students from school and university get a chance to actually perform something or say something to in front of Swami before we graduate out. And this was like an opportunity that I got to actually share the experience that I was talking to you in front of Swami.
Hey, Sairam, man, thank you so much, and for actually compiling that video and stuff. It's just beautiful. I know we're past that 6:15, so I think we'll wrap it up with you today. But anyone has any final thoughts before we wrap it up? And I also want to actually thank Sister Kavya Sister Lakshmi was telling me last time I had 5 speakers. She said, so this time keep it at least to 3 so that we can at least cover 3. and we were able to cover just 2 today. But I think it's not the number of people we go through, but it's just the beauty of these experiences are worth taking our time. And we have so many of these beautiful experiences in so many, instances to recount from so many of our YAs who are just incredible. So we'll, as ever, keep continuing this month in, month out. But yeah, if anyone has any final thoughts before we adjourn for the day.
Yeah, I think I definitely have some thought. I think I looked at his name, Sai Akshit Kumar. I don't know what does it all mean, Gampa at the end. I remember that his voice resonates from the prayer session that we had leading to Swami's birthday, but I've never seen him. I think Akshit means permanent, so I feel Kumar is a prince, and Sai, of course, is Swami. I feel, Akshit, if you're listening to me, you are a prince who has Sai permanently etched in your hearts. And I feel that's a wonderful thing. And then the other thing that really captivated me was how you reached to Swami. Like you started by saying within you, and then alluded to Hridaya Vasa, like how you may not have confidence in yourself, but you reached out to Swami in your heart, which gave you the confidence to get you the TA. And I would love for you to come back and explain what you spoke in Kulvanthal in Telugu, because I'm not a Telugu guy. So probably as maybe Sriram, we need to reduce it to one session per one person per session. It's as you said, the quality is far more important. One more thing I would like to, I love one other thing that I observed, how he struck a balance between law of karma and the grace of Swami. The law of karma allowed it to happen, but he also said the grace of Swami reduces the suffering of the pain that you would have gone to go through karma. And I think I want to thank you, Akshit. Hope to meet you in person in the near future.
My pleasure.
Anybody else before we wrap it up? If not, I think in the interest of time, and I think we'll wrap it up. And Akshit, yeah, sorry, go ahead. Someone? Okay. Is it Sairam Binduaka? Is that you?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think I got a call and then it got unmuted. Sorry about that.
No worries. Okay, then Akshit, I think if you could end us with Om and 3 Shantis to call it a day.
Sure. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you all, Sairam.
Sairam, thank you so much, everyone.